I wanted to turn attention to the King Kenny versus Faze Temperrr fight because you've been very, very open and very vocal about the recent overturned decision for Faze Temperrr to be the winner. You know, because even with Kenny on his, he did a YouTube video a day removed from the fight. You know, he said that the rounds were pretty much very, very close. It could have gone either way, especially with the third
Yeah.
round. So for you, based on what you've seen and obviously the overturned decision, what's your thoughts in you guys potentially wanting to do a rematch? Is that something potentially on the cards, like to really really see who the better man is in, I guess, in this instance?
Yeah, definitely, because it was a close fight.
Yeah, it was.
You know what YouTube world don't need to realize is judges don't just score fights based on punches landing on the head
Right.
as well, right? There's other targets. And you also, most importantly, you get scored for ring generalship. Okay? So
Okay.
now, ring generalship is a very big one. And in my opinion, Kenny had the better ring generalship.
Right.
But Temperrr probably is hard one because Temperrr landed the more technical shots, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
But then Kenny landed the more decisive shots when he did get close and open up on him.
Yeah.
Kenny went well to the body.
Mm-hmm.
Temperrr didn't go to the body, really. All these shots were like to the head.
Yeah.
So, and then you got the ring generalship aspect. So if anyone looked up the rules in professional boxing and the way judges score fights, it's not just head. There's other details that go into scoring a fight. So, in my opinion, it was close. I reckon a fair result would have been a draw.
Yeah. And then that would
That's
have been
my
more,
opinion. A fair
that would have
result.
been more of like a definitive thing where it's like a rematch then could be in the cards because obviously it's a draw, and
Yeah.
then you could really like factor in who is the better man, and obviously with more training on your side,
Yeah.
especially with Kenny, improvements can be made at that point.
Yeah. And listen, I take my hat off to Temperrr and his team. It's not like I'm turning around and going, Temperrr, shit, we won the fight, this and that. Temperrr actually surprised me when that bell rang, because I know boxing. As soon as he met Kenny in the center of the ring, I was like, oh, okay, he knows how to hold himself.
Yeah.
I always know by the way you hold yourself as a fighter, like your base and your stance.
Yeah.
And he surprised me when he came out. So like Temperrr has actually got good technical ability. Do I think he's strong? No, he's got no power. Yeah. He needs to learn a lot, because all he was doing was just sitting on the back foot, just waiting to counter most of the time. But I take my hat off to them. I think a draw would be good. Draw would have been good. And also about the appeal, in professional boxing, you rarely ever see a decision get overturned. And then what that does, the person can be angry, the team can be angry that it doesn't get overturned or whatever. But what it does, it sets up, it gets people talking, and everyone wants to see a rematch.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I was a part of that as well. I literally put my opinions about it as well, so it gets people talking.
Yeah, exactly. So the appeal for the YouTube fight between King Kenny and Temperrr, to me, obviously, I'm not used to it because it doesn't happen in professional boxing.
Right.
The way the appeal went about as well, to me, it was a bit strange the way it all went about, the appeal. And you got to remember, this is a different world from boxing.
Yeah.
You're right. You've got world champion professional boxers with 200K followers. And they are world champions. Now, you've got Temperrr, never boxed before in his life.
With over 2 million.
exactly. Had his first fight, so when you get a result like that, which is controversial, and then you're going to have all his social media people ranting and raving about the result.
Yeah.
Then what happens? That puts pressure on the commission. That was part of the show, and you got to remember, this commission was doing their first YouTube boxing event.
Right.
So they've seen the magnitude of this show. They've seen Wembley Arena, the attention that it's got, the pay-per-view numbers. They're probably thinking, no, we want to do more shows here. Let's not upset anyone. And let's, if they're getting a lot of pressure, because you got to remember, the appeal has come from them. We're just sitting back. On paper, we won the fight. So why are we going to bloody put any pressure on them? It's not us doing the appeal.
Yeah.
They're the one getting the pressure from that side. And you're not talking about a world champion with 200,000 followers. You're talking about a YouTube bloody star with millions of followers. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's where I think like professional boxing and YouTube boxing is different, because obviously you've got a lot of influence there. But you know what? When the appeal happened, me and Kenny was like, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
Kenny wasn't even down. He was pissed off, but he wasn't down. He was like, you know what? It is what it is. This has only fueled me to get better. And the next person he steps in the ring with, trust me, you won't see the final bell. Trust me, because the beauty of it as well, he's still a novice. So by the time the next fight comes around, Kenny's going to be 10 times better.
100%. Even with Deji, like you said, you only had like 3 weeks before the main fight. Imagine what could happen in a couple of months. And obviously now, you're still in the camp.
I only spoke about Deji having COVID. Deji had COVID, me COVID, and then Kenny got COVID.
Wow.
This all happened 3 weeks before the fight.
Wow.
So it disrupted Kenny. Kenny had, even on the day of the fight, he still had a horrific cough.
Right.
He didn't have COVID anymore, but the effects from COVID, he had the cough, always sniffing all the time. I still got a cough, annoying cough.
In fact, I've had it even yesterday. Like I had like the inner stitches, and then today, I mean, I just about, I've got the energy now because I'm good. But like a few hours ago, I was just like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah, exactly. So like, obviously, we're not using COVID as an excuse.
Gotcha.
Right? But we're just talking facts.
Right. That
our training camp, especially with Kenny, it was kind of okay because I've been training him for a whole year. But it was more about the timing of him having COVID. Like, we don't need this like 3 weeks before a fight or whatever. But with Deji, because it was worse, because I only had 6 weeks with him, for him to get COVID within those 6 weeks with me was not ideal whatsoever, because he couldn't train for more than a week. He couldn't train properly. So it properly disrupted everything that we was doing. But, as I said, Kenny was motivated. He was like, it's fine, man. One thing they can't take away from us is the occasion that we had and we shared on that night, and in my opinion as well, I have to say, Kenny had the coldest ring walk in YouTube history.
Yes. Yeah.
That was cold.
Yeah.
Like his whole demeanor and the way he prepared himself mentally for the fight as well. Like not even professional boxers. Some professional boxers find that hard to do. Like he was watching what he was eating. He wanted the right fuel. He wanted the right amount of sleep. And in the dressing room, he was confident, smiling, but cold demeanor, like he's ready for war. And then when he took that ring walk, like he made me want to get in the ring and fight.
Yes.
Like it just looked like And then when we went to walk towards the ring, and I had myself on one side, and then my assistant, who's my pro fighter that helped me out with Kenny, on the other side, with just us three walking that slow walk to many men.
When I saw that,
yeah,
fam, fam, game time, game fucking time.
I tell you what, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people was there to obviously see Deji because obviously he's got the bigger fan base.
For sure.
But I think Kenny stole that night.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
I would agree.
He had Wembley Arena rocking, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not discouraged, you know. Like, listen, it's not professional boxing where we're like, this is just ruined, you know, put a dent in your record, you know. This was amateur, but we're not even amateur because they were wearing 14-ounce gloves in amateur. Yeah. When you're at elite level, you're wearing 10-ounce gloves. You know? So we're just gonna go back in the gym, get better, and show everyone what he can do. And that's it really. We're discussing what's next. The rematch against Temperrr, we want it to be in America.
Yeah.
Which we discussed. So that just shows you as well the mentality of Kenny to say, I'm not telling him that. He's saying that to me. I want the rematch in his backyard in America, and I'm not going to leave it to the judges. I'm going to knock him out.
Yeah, that's what he said in his video.
That just shows you his mentality, you know? Because some people will be like, no. We're going to have the rematch and having it in my hometown, back in my hometown where it's more comfortable, you know? But we will have the rematch, but we only want it in 10-ounce gloves. Get 14-ounce gloves. And the fact that we've got Eddie Hearn talking about it as well to put it on the zone, just shows you what a great fight that everyone thought it was. And it takes two to tango. So you got to give credit to Temperrr, Faze Temperrr and his team for bringing that version of him. Because everyone was saying that was the fight of the night, as in technical wise. They both look like fighters in there, you know?